Okay guys, hope all is well. I'm short here into the opening bell through the reaction of the CLM levels. I did come on here like 15 minutes ago, do a live recording, and for whatever reason it's not showing up in my live. Probably just a mistake my end in terms of managing the OBS. I am new to all of this kind of thing, so bear with me. But I've got the video now and I've got the voice, which is helpful. Again, this is a counter trend idea. I believe we go higher ultimately across the board, unless we start to see early signs of a move down on ES next week in particular. But I do see NQ wanting to catch up with YM and ES to create new all-time highs. We've seen again today YM creating a new all-time high here, which that is basically the current all-time high. ES hasn't done that today. This is its high, but obviously on the higher time frames, if you look, NQ hasn't been able to take out the high formed over here in July, where ES and YM have taken out that high. So I see NQ wanting to catch up from a fundamental level in terms of understanding macro liquidity and the macro regime. Again, not something I would classify myself as an expert on, but I'm learning a lot from Capital Flows in particular. So you can find him over on Substack and on X. He's probably the only person I will actually kind of at the moment promote in any sort of way. And it's not really a promotion, it's more just somebody I'm using, learning a lot from. And I'll be honest, it's not, like I say, it's not something I feel, I would say at this stage, very confident in terms of using that knowledge to help me with my actual trading systems that I use from a technical standpoint. But I'm learning a lot about the fundamentals and how and why trades are occurring, why markets are moving on a high time frame, and that just allows me to have a bias and to sink in with what is a better, what is the right side of the market to be on at any given time, and is that environment going to be one where we can expect a trend, or is it going to likely to be a consolidation where we need to be having active management, and so on. So it really is great. It's very overwhelming, I would say, at the start, especially if you come into it without kind of any kind of economics or background in macro and stuff. So it just take your time. That's what I've been doing. And like I say, Capital Flows over on Substack. So I'm in a short here. I said on the original I wanted to get short here, but now just on the 1 minute time frame prior to the 9:30 open, which is, let me mark in the 9:30 open, which is here. Prior to that, we kind of got this really volatile price action coming. We dumped down at 9:25, moved back up and then down. And by the way, the time is 9:34:42, which UK time is 2:34. Just had to go out and grab myself a nice little local coffee, because the price action was boring for one. And to be honest, guys, I wasn't really going to come on because there's no Friday set up here. All week long, we've kind of gone back and forth. So no one-sided price delivery, which tells me that my system, in terms of the Friday system that I have taught on here, and I've shown through live recorded trades, that, it can be a very rewarding and profitable system. I've already expressed, I believe, somewhere in one of the videos that I'm not here to teach specifically other than the Friday system alone, but I will from time to time jump on, trade some live, and just kind of see where it goes naturally. In a short here, as you can see, quite choppy so far. Would like to see us go lower. But like I say, it's a counter trend trade, so I've got to be nimble. I've got to be aware of the fact that I still believe that the flow of the market is to be longing, especially NQ. But we'll see. Be great if we can come into here today. Not specifically because it's New York midnight. Other reasons. But that's where I'd like to see us. Now this is paper trading. The last week I did a live stream. There was no sound. Apologies for that. Did a recap, and the end of the day up 5565. We're based on a 50k account, so a huge profitable day there. We're slightly oversized in the position, but that's how I build a buffer initially. And everything I'm going to do here, you'll be seeing week to week. So note this down if you want, and you'll see me go through this. So you're actually seeing how I would trade. Now, of course, I'm trading as well, right on my other screen, you know. But I'm not going to be trading live money in front of everyone. You know, paper trading is the exact same. As long as the paper trading account is, you know, you're seeing every trade, then you know that kind of shows you guys what you need to know, in my opinion. Now you'll see a lot of people do paper trading live, and then every now and again they're just resetting their account. Well, what have they been doing to need to reset that account? Well, you know, you asked that question, guys. So, and it's one of the reasons I'll only really shout something like Capital Flows, because on his Substack, he actually puts out his trades. You have to pay for them, but you know he puts them out. So skin in the game, reputation on the line. Everybody else I'm seeing, and by the way, when I say everybody else, only the people that I'm kind of aware of within the trading space at the moment who have kind of a large following. I'm seeing all ways around actually, you know, any form of live trade, any setup, and so on. So I'm not going to vouch for them. You know, a few people ask me, you know, where have I learnt these concepts? I've learned from so many people, like, and then just found my own system within that, and that has come through backtesting, replay tools, forward testing, paper trading, finding out what works for me emotionally, psychologically. I do actually have my own Substack. My first post was on confidence, and you know, you'll see a lot of people speak about how important confidence is when it comes to trading, and I don't vouch for that. Confidence is absolutely irrelevant to trading. Now this kind of requires a bit of a paradigm shift in your understanding of confidence. So without me going into any detail here, which probably will do in the future, go over to the Substack, Lockheed Trading. It's on the YouTube. You'll find the Substack with one of the links, and you'll see how I discuss confidence and how it's actually what many people classify as the holy grail to, you know, mindset in trading, but it's not. Confidence has no hard ground unless you find where that foundation is within you. It just it's like motivation. Basically, it goes up, down, up and down, up and down. It's never going to be this static thing, particularly if you base your confidence on whether you get a profitable or a losing trade. So I use the analogy in the Substack post based on a golfer. So I hope you enjoy it. Feedback would be cool. Always, you know, looking to learn from anybody and everybody I can, and open discussion around trading and the psychological elements of trading as well. So again, you can see here, it's very choppy. I'm looking at the 5-minute time frame here, just up, down, bit of a barcode for now. But hopefully it gives up the ghost and it moves lower. You can see actually at the moment it's struggling to get above the 9:30 open, which is obviously favourable to our position right now. But realistically, I'm looking at where we closed the first 5-minute, first 15-minute, and so forth. Just want to go just to MNQ just quickly. Yeah, interesting. Don't really favour this position as much now, so I will be mindful of that. Oh, beautiful coffee. What I would say, guys, Sorry guys, just somebody at the door. do, 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 do. Like I said, not as favourable of a position, because on the MNQ that I looked at, we tagged this pink level, which we didn't on NQ, so I'm always aware of that. That's why I went and checked over, but it's fine as long as we don't start to get above the CLM levels. We could go back up here for a retest and go lower, but this is looking kind of aggressive at the moment. Let's see if we can get back below this. You can see here, guys, where's the stop? I use a volatility stop loss. I don't use a static stop loss for this particular system that I'm actually trying to trade out here. Get below here, I'll probably re-short, get into 2 contracts. I'd like to see a closure below here though on the 1 minute, so we have to get below here and close. So 40 seconds, let's see what we get. If we don't, then I'm not entirely sure we end up seeing a good trade here. See rejection away. Still time. By the way, I'm not averse to flipping long if we get above the CLM levels. Certainly not, because I'd rather be long than short. It looks like this could have been the move down. Just developed another level that if we can get below, I will short. I actually prefer that one to this one. So look, so second level tagged. Divergence on the highs there now. This looks like a bit of a potential trap. Get the longs in, take them out. So 8 seconds, let's see what we get here. Looking for another short. Yep, short there. Obviously the average entry price now is here. This may take a bit of time. what I'm looking for here is the positioning of shorts at the CLM levels. And that this is just a local low that got put in after the 930 to hitting the pink level below. And ultimately that invites longs in, and we go and take them into the CLM levels. We then start thinking about peeling the positions off. ES quite lethargic. Definitely more movement, more flow in NQ. Okay, this is first target. Second target. This is where the volume profile guide will throw on a volume profile and see that the midpoint is in and around here. Watch. Fixed range volume profile. There we go. Not required, guys. Probably go as far as saying that. Can it be used for profitability? Yes. Any system can. A flip of a coin can. But more often than not, people need to realise that what can occur in the markets will occur. And that's a paradigm shift. There's the first target reached. 555. Now we bring the fixed stop in to this CLM level. See what, and the ES, the alert that went off there, sorry, it's quite loud, was the ES moving into the line that I'd marked out here. Pulling through that. If it regains it, we probably then start heading up and we just get chopped for the rest of the day. Not the day, but the rest of, probably until the lunch hour. And I'll probably just take the 5550 and run. Well, let's see. Because then you end up running into this sort of thing where it's just not really what you want to be sitting in as a day trader. Go and enjoy the sunshine. If it's sunny where you are. By the way, guys, live market's open. Executions, where is it? Executions, there you are. There you are. Short, first short, second short, first buy. Execution levels. Need to start seeing it roll over here now. This next 10-minute window. MNQ has been so much more accurate in terms of a TA perspective recently than actual NQ, which is quite strange, really, in terms of the accuracy of the levels that I use. Does it mean there's a lot of volume in the market? I'd probably say so. A lot of back and forth. Is that to do with the election? Who knows? It's one of them things, like, let's say you think it is, then cool. How does it affect you and your trading plan? If no, then same again. I think what we do as traders, we try to clutch onto things to give us hope, and hope kills. Hope, to a degree, is nothingness. Again, that's probably something I'll write upon in the future. And I think a question to ask is, where is hope established? You know, is it established through certain needs that you haven't recognised come because you're not too sure what the answer to something is. What I'm doing here is I'm measuring the regular trading hours gap and this price at midpoint. This is something you'll see some, is it ICT? He will do this. I learned this from him. And it's something that I kind of did anyway prior to him doing it, just out of the understanding of range and standard deviation. But he spoke about a few things that made sense to me, that clicked in my mind. Whether they are right, whether it's an algorithm, who knows? That's not what I'm saying here. What I will say is, there's many people out there who have found answers within price that you can relate to, and if they relate to your system and can help you, and you can form a system that you can then trade consistently around it, then they are helpful, regardless of whether it's the truth or not. We're here to make money, not to be right on every single... Well, of course you want to be right on every single decision, because then you're going to be 100% profitable. But if you're stuck in this kind of notion that you can never be wrong, then I don't think you're understanding life. It's almost like, a golfer trying to, he's going to get frustrated that he cannot get a hole in one on every single hole. And what I was basically saying there, if you look at the regular trading hours gap from where we closed regular trading hours yesterday at 4:14 to the open at 9:30, we haven't yet reached the midpoint. We stopped just short, so they might move this back up now and then roll it back down into midpoint later on in the day, which looks probably quite likely now, I must say. Probably go till 10:15, see what we get, and then probably come off the live stream, guys, if there's nothing there, because again, we're just going to that chop which I spoke about, how we could end up, going into this kind of real barcoding on this Friday. Just looking at my own YouTube here, and it's saying that the video has been removed by the uploader in regards to the last live session I did at the start of this, where I was explaining where I want to go short. I didn't remove anything, so I'm not really sure what's gone on there, unless I've done it somehow by OBS. I'm not sure. I hope this is clear as well, by the way. I believe it's on the best settings possible to at least allow for 1080p. Yes, very lethargic. Trading view a little slow because I've got that many things running here. YM starting to roll over. Let's see if we get stopped on this move. If we get stopped, then I'm just going to call it a day with the profits taken. I'm just going to actually read my Substack for you guys on my post on confidence while we wait to see how this trade unfolds. Okay, so confidence, the mirage on the horizon. It's never about the thing itself. So ladies and gentlemen, let's begin dissecting what confidence truly is. If you were able to take a rocket and go to Saturn, and you got out of the rocket to stand on Saturn, you couldn't stand there. And the reason you couldn't stand there is because Saturn is a gas planet. It doesn't exist. Therefore, there is no hard ground. There is no foundation. So let's imagine you're a professional golfer for a moment. If your confidence is based upon making putts, when the putts go in, you'll be confident, and when they don't, you won't. So for some people out there that you may think, that resonates with me, it's something that you do. Do you see it? There is no hard ground there. So there's no hard ground in basing your confidence upon putts going in and putts that don't. So that just basically means that you are forever a pinata. You're always swinging. You are forever in search of that which someone or something has to give you. And therefore you are always in a state of hope. You do not own anything, right? So when you're in that state of hope, you do not own anything. But let's be clear here. Confidence in its true form does not come from what you do, but from who you are. I'll read that again. Confidence in its true form does not come from what you do, but from who you are. An athlete once said in the past that his confidence comes from hard work. I would say his hard work was not something that he did. It was just part of who he was. It exists within his DNA. Now, obviously, when I say DNA, I'm not necessarily speaking about, DNA in terms of a scientific kind of way. I'm just kind of talking about, who somebody is. Their soul, let's say. His hard work was his foundation, not just in his sport, but in all aspects of his life. So he found it easy to do hard work. We're closing on the stop here, and there is the stop. So something from your bones, not from your skin. The problem is, confidence is looked at in a very ephemeral manner. As a result, it's always fragile. And that is why you will always hear commentators say, he's flying with high confidence right now. Because it cannot be produced at a lasting state if it is based upon something that you do not own, but what you look for. So if you do not own the ability to put every single putt, then essentially you are going to go through moments of up and down in your performance if you're going to then say that it is confidence that affects your performance. So something to be mindful of. Do you own your trading? Your trading has nothing to do with your confidence, because if you always have the intermediary of confidence as your requisite, then you will always be holding on to the confidence as to how you perform. And that, my friends, is the trap. So confidence or no confidence, I want you to trade despite the low confidence. And this is a milestone to really achieve and to get over. And from you being sincere in the way that you trade and being true to your system, to your craft and to your routine, and the way that you go about the whole of your trading, the confidence itself will labour and it will rise and it will fall. Let it do what it wants to do. But it has nothing to do with how you perform. Look, all of these things are so delicate. And if you try to structure them, I must have confidence, then you will attempt to do things in order to bolster that confidence. And as long as those things are working, then you'll have the confidence. So as long as the puts are going in, you'll be confident. But when they are not, you won't. So again, no hard ground. To me, that is not good enough. I want ownership. Look, I have to know that when I go driving in my car, I'll reach my destination. I completely reject the idea that I'm driving to my office and I may end up in another country. And so that only comes from me not hoping that I'll get to my work, but I do things in such a way despite the possibilities of me arriving in another country. You know, I might be hijacked and taken to some other country, but I don't entertain that as any real possibility for me. Like when I trade, I do not entertain winning or losing. My system dictates, the market decides. So that will kind of be what I'll be showcasing here. So let me see what we're... So 280 loss, 555. And again, we're just going into that sloppiness. We could really just grind higher and fall back over, and then yeah. Again, not interested in any sort of prediction here. And probably won't trade for the rest of this session. So I'll leave it there, guys.